Media music. Music made for film or TV, any kind of commissioned music, is a byproduct. Okay, so that sounds like a really clickbaity title, and it kind of is, but I'm also kind of serious. Christian Henson on his amazing channel, if you haven't subscribed to it yet, you absolutely should, because he's a wonderful thinker about that. He says that we are supposed to be the HOD, the head of department, and the two jobs of a media composer are number one, to write themes, and number two, to deliver a finished score. I totally agree. Those are absolutely the jobs that we do, and that's what our clients expect us to deliver. But what I'm talking about is what we do before that happens, because I think that work is actually the main event, and any quality or anything that comes out of that and becomes the score in the end, the thing that we need to deliver and the thing that people talk about being the thing or the product, that's secondary to that, and that is coming out of that. So what do I mean by my music is a byproduct? Because that sounds diminishing, and it's not intended to. We often think that when we put music to picture or when we write music, that is the thing that we're actually getting paid to do. The music itself is the product. That's what has the inherent value. When people pay me to work, they're actually kind of renting my brain for a little bit, and what they really want isn't music. What they need is solutions to a problem that they have. I think that as media composers who are commissioned to solve problems on a film, we are like physicians. We're like medical doctors. When you feel unwell, you don't just think, well, I need drugs. I need some sort of pharmaceutical intervention. I need a thing to put in my body, and that will fix the problem. First of all, you're not a doctor. You don't know how to diagnose that. But secondly, it could be anything. First of all, what is the issue? You need help discovering what the issue is, and then you need someone to help you prescribe the correct drugs in the right dose for the right amount of time, and that takes expertise, and to me, that is what I feel like I'm actually getting hired to do. I am the doctor of music. I am the doctor prescribing the drugs, which is perhaps music in your scene. It could be any type of music, it could be a number of different ways that music could work in the scene, or in many cases, it can actually be no music. The scene is working fine the way it is, and in fact, I think you'll actually spoil it by putting music in that scene. That is actually a prescription I give filmmakers quite often, because the ingredients are working just right in this. So who or what is the patient? It's partly the actual, project that you're working on, like the thing itself. It's partly the vision of what the creator had in mind, and it's partly how the creator feels about what they've made so far, whether that matches what their vision was, whether they have confidence in it or not, whether they think, it could be pushed further, what kind of issues or problems or challenges that it has at the moment, and what they hope comes out at the end, what they hope the final product will be, and how the audience will experience that. So it's a weird combination of all those things, and part of our jobs as musical physicians is determine what the actual objective truth of that is, on what side of the spectrum, whether it's the director's internal dialogue and their psychology that might be holding them back, or some lack of faith that they have about their project, or is it the actual project and in itself and how it's working on an objective audience-based kind of way, or is it the vision that everything is sort of working but it could be pushed further, it needs a concept or it needs something in order to bring it to the place where it'll sing in the most wonderful way that it can. Sometimes I feel like the creator comes to us, they don't want the process, they just want to come to you and go, I need music, and they just throw you the picture and they say, now give me the correct cure for my problem. They just want the drugs. They don't want the process, the medical exam, the conversation with the physician where they ask you questions about your symptoms, having to do a scan or having to get blood work done, and all the other things that are a natural part, I believe, of the collaborative process of coming to the point where you really understand what the project needs musically. It might be out of fear, it might be out of feeling out of control and not wanting to show that. It could be a number of different things. But it really stands in the way of getting the best final result. And it also makes the process take longer overall, because you end up in rewrites, you end up with tons of fixes and lots of notes, frustration on both sides, and an erosion of trust and faith. And it's just not fun. If you can get those conversations, that sort of investigative thing happen right out of the gate, that can be a lot of fun in itself. It's not like getting an actual medical exam or doing blood work. It's not painful, it doesn't have to be. And I think that composers need to be good physicians and have good bedside manner in order to make the filmmakers feel very comfortable about this process. Make them not feel stupid, invite them into the process, make them a collaborative partner, and show them that wonderful things are possible with the right diagnosis and the right prescription. One of the most frustrating things I face is when I feel like, as the physician, I am not given access to the patient. Either there is some party or multiple parties standing in between myself and the actual creator or the decision maker about that work, or I am just being told to deliver something. And what that is not clear. I get notes and I don't understand them because I haven't been able to ask good questions and understand, well, when you say this, what do you actually mean? Or if you have references, what does this mean to you? I talk about this in my video about the dangers of using songs in your film. It might have a very specific meaning for them, or elements in the music might have specific meaning for them that don't necessarily translate. I'm not going to get that magically or psychically. It just doesn't happen. I need to be able to ask questions. Give your physicians access to the patient. That means be party and be a collaborative partner in those questions that get asked. Don't be afraid of it. We're all trying to drive towards the answer, and it's not necessarily clear to any of us until you go through that process. Then, myself as a composer, I have to do what I call an alchemical process, where I take all the words and all the suggestions and all the references and links and all the things that we've put together, and I synthesize that into music, which is my job. That's what I go away and do. But without that initial diagnosis, without that first conversation, without those tests and those experiments that I do with you, I can never get to that point. Or if I do it'll be kind of by accident. It'll be shooting in the dark and making lots of misses. And meanwhile, we're wasting time that didn't need to be wasted. You're losing faith in me. I'm losing my confidence in my own work. And it's just a bad scene all around. For composers, don't just go away. You're excited to get started, right? And you just dive right in without really doing that work to get a firm, established ground on which you're standing that you share with your collaborative partners. You have to be on the same page. You're going to just have such a better and easier, more fun, more creative, more productive time coming to those wonderful experiments and making the music and writing the themes and doing all the other things that are then subsequently your job. You will come back to your collaborators with much better byproducts than you would have otherwise. Composers for commissioned work for film and TV, media composers, are physicians. The music is the prescription. The patient is a combination of the project itself, the creator that came up with that project, and their vision for what that project could be. Without coming to a point where we know we're on solid ground with our diagnosis, the proper prescription can't be made, and therefore it will just be a more painful process for everyone when it could be easy, joyful, and so productive. If you have any comments on this or have your own experiences or your own suggestions about how to move through these conversations, I'd love to hear them. Hit me in the comments. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.